Hello, hello, hello. We are live. I'm so excited to be having another episode of Fitness Talk with Bernice Taylor. I am super excited. So glad you've joined. So excited. Today, before we get started, first of all, what I want to say is that today's show is being sponsored by Decisions Women Make, Face, and Make. And that book is by R.J. Jackson and friends, and I happen to be one of those friends. So it's co-authored by R.J. Jackson, myself, Bernice Taylor, and Shaltrice Chandler. So make sure that you check it out because that is what's sponsoring today's show. I am going to invite our guest and then I am going to introduce her because she is only here for half an hour today. So I want to maximize the time that she is going to be here. Yes, there you are. Hello.
Hello.
Hi, give me a few seconds to at least introduce you properly. And then we're going to start with the questions because I know you're only here for half an hour. And I just thank you for being here for that half an hour. So it's good to have you. So if you have any questions, I don't know if we'll get to them because Dr. Yembe has to leave at 5:30. So go ahead and put it in that question mark. Go ahead and put it there, and then she'll be able to answer for you, okay? And if we don't have time, don't worry. She'll see it in, I'll put it in the description or in the DM, and she'll be able to answer it. So don't worry about it. Or you can put it in the comments later when I post the video. There. That's even better. We'll do it that way. Okay, so I am so excited about our guest today. I'm telling you, before I say that really quickly, if your company ever wants to sponsor this live talk show, your logo will go exactly where I have Decisions. So DM me if you're interested in sponsoring this show. All right. So I'm excited. Today's guest is Dr. Enaka Yembe, a Louisiana-based board-certified family medicine physician. This sister is tough. She is founder and CEO of the American Stat Care Centers that served Louisiana and Texas from 2006 to 2015 and from 2016 to 2017, respectively. Dr. Yembe was born in Cameroon, Africa. We got that in common because I was born in Ghana. Wow. And yes. And she obtained a bachelor's degree in biochemistry from the University of Lagos, Nigeria, and then completed her medical education at the University of Milan, Italy. She later on completed a family medicine residency at LSU, E.A. Conway Hospital in Monroe, Louisiana. Dr. Yembe, single mother of 2 college students, is a philanthropist who has overcome multiple major life challenges, including divorce, obesity, and disability. She is a national and international John Maxwell certified speaker, mentor, and coach who works with individuals and groups. Dr. Yembe was the 2019 Ochsner, and I may have said it wrong, LSU HCS Monroe commencement speaker. What I tell you, she is tough. She is author of the Amazon #1 bestseller, Grow to Success, co-author of 2 bestsellers, Success Chronicles and 20 Beautiful Women, Africa edition. She is also a co-leader and co-author of the Amazon #1 bestseller book, Beyond Challenges. She has been seen on Fox 14 TV and NBC TV. She is a marathoner, loves anything personal development, traveling, dancing, cooking, and gardening. Welcome, Dr. Yembe.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
It is my pleasure. That is quite the resume. And that was the short version, guys. That was the short version. So,
Thank you.
Oh, I'm sorry. You were saying?
I said thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. My pleasure. So before I quickly start, let me remind everyone that if you have a question, put it with where the question mark is. I can't guarantee that we're going to get to it because she's only here for half an hour. So let's go. My very first question, Dr. Yembe, is I love your presence on Instagram and how inspiring you are. Please give us a background as to what led you to your profession and then later as a weight loss coach.
Thank you, Bernice. Thank you so much for this platform. I am also in awe of your platform on Instagram because we are just about the same age. I think you are 54 and I will be 54 in two months. And so I'm just in awe of you. But anyway, coming to my profession as a physician, I believe I was born to be a physician. It wasn't a decision that I came to at a certain point. I just realized growing up as this little girl, I've always wanted to be a physician. And that was just my calling. I think it is the most honorable and humbling thing to take care of people, just to take care of people when they are in time of need and to keep them healthy. And I have done medicine in the United States and outside of the United States in my country. It's just a huge calling for me. This is the reason why I run an online boot camp for just $1 per day. And I am present live with my boot campers at least 7 to 9 times a week, in addition to everyone coming into my kitchen to see what I eat and how I make what I eat. So now on to my weight loss journey. I tell you, I was that baby that hit the world already at a size of 10 pounds. And so, I mean, it just blossomed from there. By the time I was a teenager that knew anything about anything, I already knew that I was overweight because I went to boarding school, and at the age of 10, I was heavier than the senior students who were 15, 16 at that time. So you can imagine. When I think as far as I can remember from early teenage years, maybe I started trying to lose weight. I can't tell you what I did. Somehow I just thought I should lose weight. But going on to my adulthood, college time, that's when I really hit it hard. I went to school in Italy, medical school. So of course, I couldn't get any clothes in the regular stores, so very traumatizing. I was at the gym every day. I was starving myself, not eating. All kinds of things happened. And then I had a first baby. And when I got pregnant with that child, I gained 80 pounds. Little baby was born at just 5 pounds, 12 ounces. And onto the second child, you know, just on and on, I just got bigger, blossomed to over 300 pounds at a certain point. But I had tried and tried, you name it, I've tried it and failed. From everything that is out there to personal trainers, everything failed until 2010. I lost a brother. And I remember my dad calling me that phone call when I was at my heaviest and my unhealthiest, already a practicing physician. And I told myself I couldn't allow my dad to have to bury another child. And that was one of my biggest wake-up calls when I started trying. But still, I mean, I spent a lot of time gaining and losing the same 40, 50 pounds. I mean, I could lose weight and gain it back. So now I know what is it that we need to do to lose the weight and keep it off. Not that it's an easy journey, but you just have to know a few things that we must do, especially when I saw the age of 50 coming close. I said, wow, I really need to get it together. And I spent so much time studying, which is why I tell myself, if I knew maybe now what I knew at that time, I may not have struggled. So
Yeah.
that's one of my biggest passion, to not allow people, because I mean, you're not lazy. It's not that. It's not that you
Right.
eat too much and you just lazy. It's not that. There's
Right.
so much more that comes to, that plays a role in the weight that we have, especially when we are overweight. It goes
Yeah.
from social to mindset to community.
Yes.
I mean, it's just a lot of things that people don't know. So that's
Yes.
why it's important for people to reach out to a coach, someone who's done it, and
Yes.
someone who knows the what's in the house and the wins. But it's just not you. There's a lot that comes into play that will spend us a lifetime learning and changing slowly. Did you hear me say slowly, slowly?
Yes.
Yes,
Slowly. Yes. I
slowly. So
hear you.
that's really what I do now. I mean, I work in the emergency room now full time. Then I have a small practice that's carved out for weight loss coaching professionally, and also a private Facebook group that I spend time there with those who subscribe and teach them all that I know to do and how I got here. That's it in a nutshell.
Excellent. Yes, that's excellent. We will definitely visit that. And I know there are questions, people are making comments, but like I said, she's only here for half an hour and I want to honor her time. And I will try to get to those questions that are in the question box. So my second question to you, Dr. Yembe, and that was amazing, the answer you gave, and a lot of it resonates with me. And you're a baby compared to me because I'm 57. So, so just saying. Okay, so my second question is, as someone who takes care of herself physically, please share what you do for a workout or workouts and why you chose that.
Um, when I'll tell you just about myself, really, what works for me. And again, anybody who's listening, what you do is you listen to these shows and find something that resonates with you and adapt that thing, one thing, and then take action. Without action, action is what changes things. But anyway, when I started trying to lose weight or struggling, what I knew was that you went to the gym, you spent some time in the gym, at least an hour doing something, and that all fell into exercising. This is not true. I can tell you, exercising comes in so many shapes and forms
Yes.
that have to be, you have to identify yourself with something that you can maintain consistently for a while. And when it stops working, this is when you change direction, because no need doing something that's not working. So for
Yes.
me, how I started working with trainers. That didn't work because I had me doing push-ups and things and like that. I'm like, I was like, well, okay, let's not do the push-ups. And then I used to run up and down bleachers, and okay, well, let's not run up and down bleachers. So
Right.
I settled down with dancing. I did the Zumba. Again, I'm not advertising Zumba, but that's what worked for me
Right.
initially. And then it stopped working. And then I started running. That's how come I did all the marathons and the half marathons. And then I lost the weight and my body went south. You know what I mean? It went south in a funny way. I mean, everything was sagging here and there. It was not pretty for me. And
Right.
so I went and did research. And what I do today is a combination of anything that I can have fun with, that I can sweat, that I can just stimulate my muscles enough, because I am in menopause. Have been in menopause for about 6 years. And so without putting in some resistance work, picking
Yes.
up the dumbbells, I always felt picking up the dumbbells back then was for men. Women, if you're listening, that is not true. You're
Yes.
gonna
Listen.
need to pick up some weight in order to preserve your muscle, because there is some loss of muscle mass for women because our hormones change and you start losing your muscle mass around the age of 35. Every year you lose some. So if you don't pay attention to the muscles, then as you lose weight, you lose fat and muscle, then you're going to be in a bind where you're not eating as much and you're either gaining weight or staying the same. So what I do now is anything. So you send me online, I'm dancing, I don't mind dancing, I don't mind moving. I love it because I can dance for an hour. I can dance for 2 hours. I have done a marathon right here in my home by dancing all day long. I don't have to move furniture. I don't have to go outside and work the yard. I can just dance it out here for hours and hours. If that's you, that's fine. What you do need to do is to put some intensity into it though, because some steady pace exercising for women, yes, that can help, but you want to kick it up a notch. So what I do is high intensity interval exercises if I'm doing cardio. It's got to have some high intensity interval. And this is where you apply your maximum effort, 30 seconds, 20 seconds, a minute, depending. I probably don't go more than a minute of high intensity interval. And then you back it off, rest a few seconds, and go at it again. Yes. You can do that for 15 minutes. You can do it for 20 minutes. You can do it for an hour. Another thing that I do quite a bit now, you cannot see my rack, but it's all out here. I've got the dumbbells. Don't judge me on this one, okay? Got the dumbbells from 5 pounds to 50 pounds, as in 50. You should have seen me checking out with that 50 dumbbell one day. Why? Because your body gets used to the same weights. And we women, we do not get big and bulky and macho unless you intentionally work at it. So you can. But if you just want to maintain muscle mass, you want to pick up some dumbbells and you want to increase the amount of weight that you do pick up with time. So I do cardio, high intensity interval training. I dance whenever I want to. If I'm too tired, I'm probably dancing because I want to get some exercise in. And then I intentionally pick up some weights. Body weight exercises on my training program, I don't encourage everyone to go out on a limb and must get some weight. You don't have to do that. Forget that. If you cannot get dumbbells, what are your household items? Is it a bag of rice? Is it a dishwashing liquid? Is it a gallon of milk? Anything that would add resistance to that muscle so you can work it is just fine. Hey, pick up the child. The baby is 20 pounds. Love a baby. Baby will be happy. You will be too. So we want to get creative. We want to stay within our familiarity, but outside of too much comfort. Because if you, in real life, if you're exercising and you're just comfortable, no. So that's really what I do for exercise.
Yes, excellent. You are speaking my language because I was like, yes, yes, which is exactly what I preach. So you're speaking my language. Okay, my third question. Weight loss and maintaining a healthy body comes mainly from what we eat. Would you share some of your meal choices with us?
That's a good question. You know what? I got into trouble because of my mouth, because I love to eat. I love to eat. But nutrition really is, like you said, 75 to 80% of our weight, depending. Right off the bat, I'm going to advise you, for those of you who are listening, please pay attention and do not drink your calories, because that's a mistake most people make. Don't drink your calories. The things that we drink, we want to try to move away from drinking things. Because number one, they don't really stay here. And I feel like me, I like my food to be here. I like to feed my food. I don't want to be hungry all the time. So when we're drinking things, foods, now those do not sustain us long term. We may end up eating more. I'm just saying may. I don't know exactly what you're drinking. The next thing that we shouldn't do is snacks. Snacking is an unnecessary continuous stimulation of everything here in your gut. You know, some people say, I don't eat anything, but they're snacking. And so a snack that is above 240 calories, is defined as a meal. So some people are having meal, thinking that it's a snack, but it's not. It's a meal. We want to be careful of that, about that. So what do I eat? Now, I have learned that proteins are a very, very important component of my diet. Why? Remember how I'm losing muscle as I'm getting older? I'm almost 54 now. And so I've got to pay some attention. I need my muscle mass to maintain my basal metabolic rate to help me keep the weight off. So I consume 30 to 40 grams of protein, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. In fact, I did a video this morning and I'm about to edit it and put it on there. It takes me so long to edit these videos, and it's me because I'm not an expert. So I had the oatmeal. Oatmeal is a healthy carbohydrate, but I've learned to add some protein powder into it and actually add another egg into that. So it gave me almost 40 grams of protein for that oatmeal. So instead of just eating oatmeal, I make it a high protein oatmeal. So that's one of the things that I eat. Another thing that I love to eat though is eggs. I generally eat 6 eggs at a time without the egg yolk. So that's without the egg yolk. Just because I'm very, very intentional about my protein. Eggs are another one. Another thing that I eat is bacon. Now, bacon gives me some fat, so now I don't want to eat bacon every day now. That may put you in trouble. But I'll eat some bacon and then also add my egg whites to that bacon. So you see me going with the eggs all the time. I cannot get tired because I eat eggs in all kinds of ways. That is why I have learned to move away from the egg yolk, because I love to use the benefit of the egg white, which is lower in calories and higher in protein. So I'll make an omelet, I'll make a muffin, I'll add it to my oatmeal, all kinds of things. Chop it up cold, chop it with avocado. My breakfast, I can never tell you one thing. Probably never eat the same thing more than twice. Because as much as I love to eat, I love tasty and variety. And that's what's kept me going on about 12 years now, still able to eat healthy. For lunch, I'll probably be eating some vegetable with some cooked protein. Again, because I don't like protein. Sorry, I don't like vegetables. Don't judge me, because when I started my journey, back then, I spent over a year eating just salads and grilled chicken breast every day. So I got burned out on vegetables, but I still incorporate vegetables into my meals, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Very important, because they have those essential nutrients that are important for our skin, our hormones, everything to function correctly. I'll do the same thing for dinner. Generally cut my dinner around between 4 and 5. I'm not eating later than that. And that's just me. Yes, beef, chicken, yes. I eat seafood. I eat all food groups. But the biggest change that I made is to come away from all the aisles in the grocery store. And when I go in now, I stay around the fresh foods and the freezer section, and then I'll go on to the meats and things. Because I just believe that things that are packaged, things that are preserved and stored in a can or in a box, have so many other things, preservatives and things to stabilize them, that they get into our bodies. And now here you are, you've got painful joints, you've got dull skin that is just getting tired. So why not just stick with vegetables, protein, and healthy fats? Yes. Keep in mind, your vegetables have carbohydrates. So potatoes, you have other carbohydrates that are healthy, like brown rice, quinoa. All these things are very healthy. Please, if you are listening, do not exclude any food group from your diet, because when you are 50 like myself, and when you are 80 years old like my mom, you should be able to eat the same things. This is why when you eliminate a food group, then after a while, you can't sustain it past a certain time, and then you start going back to your old ways, and the weight starts creeping up. But one thing I can tell you is that please spend some time in cooking your own food.
Yes.
Start simple. Start small. I am very, very big when I coach my patients and my clients. Back in my days when I learned to meal prep, you can even scroll back on my page, you will see 7 days of food, 21 different bowls, and all the different things. It is overwhelming.
Right.
I tell you what,
Right.
nowadays it's so easy. I only have to meal prep for today and tomorrow, maybe next day, because I found out that I will get to day number 7. I don't even like my food. I don't even want to eat the food that I cooked. So here I am. I got nothing to eat. I'm like, wow, if I meal prep, but I don't like it. I don't want it. I want something else. I just make it easy for myself. I don't have to think too far.
Yes.
Keep it small. Simple is the way to go. Don't go out and research too many meals because, again, you don't want to overwhelm yourself with too many things.
Yes.
Start with 1, 2, maximum 3 days and have you some backup. I mean, I gave a talk the other day. What if I make something today for breakfast tomorrow and I don't like it tomorrow when tomorrow comes? What's the deal? So am I stuck? Nothing to eat? No. I always have some standard things like boiled eggs. Those always work for me. I always have protein pancakes. Those work for me just in case whatever looked delicious yesterday doesn't look that appealing again tomorrow morning. I mean, I don't know what my mood is going to be. And that is my experience. I do not believe in meal prepping for 7 days for everybody. Works for some, does not work for some. You got to figure out what works for you. But you've got to spend some time learning yourself and grasping all the information and taking action today, not tomorrow, today. Last thing I'll tell you though about my nutrition. So after all that's said and done, okay, I am not perfect. I do not expect to be perfect. I do not expect anyone that I'm working with to So I tell my patients, listen, I want 75 to 80% of accuracy from you. Why? Because you cannot eat perfectly forever. When you start thinking that way, then you're going to fail. Tell yourself, you are human. You're not Jesus Christ, you're human. So you're going to have a little oopsie one time. You went to work and somebody was having a birthday. They had all this cake and ice cream, so I had a little piece. Tell yourself, listen, I enjoyed it, but you know what? Tomorrow, I'm going to snap back to it. I cannot continue on this path. Once you forgive yourself and say, okay, this is normal, I'm done, move away from that and get back to whatever program you're on, then you are more consistent that way. Don't give yourself too much feedback about it. Why? Because Dr. Yembe makes some oopsies as well. Actually, I am intentional about deviating from my diet or my nutrition. Fridays, that is my day to eat fried chicken and fried okra. Friday. They call it fried chicken Friday at work for that. Why? Because I'm looking forward to it. I'm not trying to eat fried chicken or anything else. For some reason, if Friday I couldn't get there on time, it almost seems like I would postpone to the next Friday. That's how I skip some Fridays. But I got in my mind, got to get that fried chicken. That's pretty much my best thing. And I only eat the skin, okay? Because I tell myself I eat a healthy chicken throughout the other time. So this time I'm going straight for the skin and the skin. And that's the part that I want. Whatever you do once out of all the 28 meals or 27 meals or 24 meals is not going to be damaging. But you do want to stay consistent with the health and wellness habits that you learned. You learn it, you do it. You don't have to feel like doing it. You don't need any motivation because it's not going to come. That's the reason why I'm living. I have to live, I would say, I give you about another 10 minutes.
10, right. So let me stop you here because I want to get the meat of it, but you have to leave. So let me skip and then let me go to just the very last question, and then I'll look up some questions that I can ask you from what the audience has. I want to honor your time. So my last question would be, and by all means, I would love to do this again when you have more time, because you are so speaking my language. And even though we're in the same field, whenever I can pair up with another fitness person and encourage and inspire women over 50, I'm all for it, because we work together to help for the greater good. So I would love to do this again. All right, so my last question would be, if you could leave one pivotal advice for us concerning our health as we age, what would it be?
The biggest advice I can give you is the mindset change. You want to have a mindset change, because we got to an unhealthy weight because of the way we think and because of the relationship that we have with food and the relationship we have with our activity. It's in the mind. When I start my program, the first thing that I do is talk about mindset. Because if we cannot change our mind, then it's difficult for us to be successful. So when I say mindset, what am I talking about? The very first thing is emotions. In fact, most of my patients are referred to me from the psychologist. The emotions that we have sometimes take us into eating outside or eating things that we are not really, or we know that may not be good for us. So the first thing to do is get a handle of the emotions. It may be easy for you to do it, or you may need some help. But behind emotions, I'm going to say awareness, because sometimes we're just not aware that our emotions are all over the place and taking us different ways. So you want to get a handle of your emotions and have the mindset change. We've got to know that, okay, I'm now 50, I'm going to learn new things. For example, I'm a huge coffee drinker. When I wake up in the morning, the first thing I must drink is coffee. And back then, I used to drink creamer with a little bit of coffee. You know what I mean? It used to be delicious. I couldn't wrap my mind around drinking black coffee because I do intermittent fasting as well. And while I'm fasting, I can only drink black coffee. It was my mind. There's no reason, there's no rhyme or reason why you can't change what you need to eat in order to be healthy. Once you start thinking, I'm eating to nourish my body, you're going to bypass here. I'm not saying it should actually creep you out, but there's just a few things that we need to change in order to have a reset of our bodies, because if we don't change the things that we do, then nothing will change. In order to see a change, you've got to change the things that you do. And one of my patients said once she got her mind right, then her actions followed her mind, and her body started to change. Sometimes we look at it the other way. So mindset is the biggest advice that I can give you, is have that mindset change. The very second one that we women are notorious for is just condemning ourselves. Listen, if you're trying to lose weight, you wake up like I used to hate myself, hate my body, hate the way I walk, hate the fact that I'm so big, just don't like it. Listen, your mind is listening to you, because you talk to yourself the most anyway, and then you've already condemned all the things that you have. And so when you go to start something, you're already pretty much discouraged. It doesn't take that much. I want to wake up in the morning and tell myself, I'm beautiful, I'm strong, I'm everything. In fact, I can come to a show this morning or this afternoon with no makeup. I couldn't do that 10 years ago. I said, I've got to put so much on here to make it look pretty. Until when I started really exercising, and one day I worked out so much, I had all the makeup in my shirt. I was like, ooh, try to do that again. So I washed it up and I said, it is what it is. And it has remained what it is. So you're not going to love yourself more after you lose weight. You've got to start loving yourself, every single bit of it, right now where you are. And then when you get there, then you're going to start nourishing and training your future self. The
Yes.
next thing I'll tell you about mindset, if you're trying to lose weight, don't be like me. I used to go to the trainer and said, help me lose weight. I mean, I didn't really have any goals for anything, never really spent time to think about my habits, never did anything like that. Have a goal. Last thing about mindset is action. Action is the only singular factor that will change everything.
Yes.
Is action. Now you can act even when you don't feel like it, but you gotta act anyway.
Yes.
Let me tell you, you don't have to feel like working out before working out. You don't have to feel like eating vegetables. I just told you I don't like vegetables, but I make sure I put them in my body 2 to 3 times a day. I'll transform it into something else that's healthy, but I'll consume it. May not like it, but it's gonna go down, and I'm gonna eat it long enough that pretty soon I'm saying, wow, this thing is not that bad. So
Right.
you've got to change the mind. We are not newborns, we're not 3 months old, that we've got to eat things that, I mean, in fact, the 3-month-old doesn't know. It's going to eat what you give it. So we can't say I'm too old to learn new things. Why? Because it is by learning those new things that your weight and your body is going to change.
Yes. Yes. Thank you. Thank you. You are speaking my language. So I certainly want to honor your time. So here's one question that I pulled up. Can you help those struggling with type 2 diabetes?
Absolutely. Type 2 diabetes is, and I'll give you a quick overview of how we become diabetic, type 2 diabetes. So when you eat food, there are 3 macronutrients: proteins, fats, and carbohydrates. Let's forget about proteins and let's forget about fats and let's think carbohydrates. And so when you consume carbohydrates, your hormone insulin comes up here and says, hey, I'm going to chop this thing down and transform it into glucose so that you can have the energy, the brain stays alive, the muscles are working, and then you go about your activity. So insulin is that one hormone that's supposed to come here and break it down, and then if we have too much of this input of food, too much carbohydrate, the rest of it is stored as fat. What happens when we consume too much carbohydrate, either big meals or too many small meals? So, you know what I mean? Because this is where awareness comes in. You know, you went to the bank,
Yes.
one candy dropped in your mouth. That means you went to church and the mint was there. So you took about 5, put in your purse at the end of the day. All those things, carbohydrates, they are going into your body. The insulin level keeps coming up. It keeps working. At a certain point, you have overtasked your insulin, so you have too much insulin. And because our bodies are very, very magnificent creations, they have to stay in balance, in homeostasis. And you have overstimulated your insulin now, and now the rest of your body says, it's too much, and you are now resistant to your insulin, your own insulin, and your insulin is somewhat defective. And so insulin levels, when they are high or a little bit defective, is no longer very efficient in breaking it down. All it does is takes that glucose and it stores it as fat. And so now you're a very efficient person on the inside. All these carbohydrates you keep consuming, you're storing them as fat. And that's another thing that insulin does, is it holds onto the fat, it doesn't release it. So now you have all this glucose circulating, and then you become diabetic. Somebody checks your blood sugar and it's high. I'll tell you, one of the, we call diabetes a silent killer, because you could have high blood sugars. If your lab says normal blood sugar is 100, you could be walking around with blood sugars of 500 and not even know it. This is circulating through your whole body, your eyes, your brain, your heart, your kidneys, your legs, your fingers, everywhere. It's causing a lot of damage. And after some years or some months, just depending on your situation, first thing you know, you go to work as a good citizen and you're sitting at your desk, sitting at your desk, sitting at your desk, and you just had a stroke. So that's what happens with diabetes. High insulin levels for type 2 diabetes. So now, how do we fix this? Remember that overstimulation of carbohydrates is what got us in trouble. So what we need to do is to try to revert. You can do it. It doesn't matter if you're 60 years old. I see this in my clinic all the time. I have children now. My youngest in my clinic for weight loss is 7, and I have the oldest is 73. It is the same level field. You can all do it. It doesn't matter what age you are. The first thing that you want to do is to be aware of what a carbohydrate is. Read those labels. You pick up a food item, you want to look at it. It will say total carbohydrate. Some foods have carbohydrates naturally, and that's fine. But when you see things like added sugar, that's what puts us in trouble. Added sugars. So if you are a diabetic, you want to beware of added sugars. You want to start thinking about lowering your insulin levels, and please go check with your primary care doctor and see if this is good for you. But I don't know, diabetics who are not on insulin, intermittent fasting will help you. I'm not saying starve yourself. I'm saying intermittent fasting will help you. Brief overview of how do you fast. Let's say you stop eating at 6 o'clock. You want to fast around when you're sleeping, and don't be like person like me. I used to wake up in my sleep and go eat. So all that junk is out of my house. Even if I am waking up from sleep for some reason, there's nothing in my house that will tempt me. So intermittent fasting will help you. Number 2, think about all these added sugars that you want to avoid. When the manufacturer tells you 0 calorie and you taste it and it's sweet, I'm sorry, it doesn't have 0 calories. It has some sugar. Why? Because under that fine print right there, there's a star that says based on something. I can't see. My vision is not even that good enough to read that tiny print. So you want to be thinking about eliminating added sugars and junk foods and foods that are labeled sugar-free chocolate, sugar-free cookies, sugar-free juice. No. Go back to how your mama used to cook. Get them vegetables, get you some potatoes, and get you some cabbage. And if you're in the South like me, our best thing, get you some pork neck bones, turkey neck bones, and go have you some protein, vegetable, and a little bit of brown rice or white rice, but just a little bit of potato, and you'll be just fine. We get in trouble with all the other things that are packaged and contain just so much added sugars, and some of them are even labeled no sugars. Last, run away from the frozen foods that have too many items in the ingredient list, and some of them I can't pronounce. I also have a video on my YouTube channel about that, where I have, it's called Food Label Confusion. I found out that the veggie tots, vegetable tots, it said broccoli or cauliflower or something, it had more carbohydrate than the regular tots. Why? Because the something tots, veggie tots, was just potato tots with added cauliflower and a little bit more starch and a little bit of everything else to make it tasty.
Oh my goodness. I know that our time has come, it's up, because I want to honor you. And I'm going to put all of her social media platforms in the description. Yes, I'm saving this live. It will be on my Instagram, but it'll also be on my YouTube shorts, because I'll take a clip of what she said. It'll be on YouTube in its entirety because it is too good. And it'll be on, a little clip will be on TikTok. It'll be on LinkedIn. It'll even be a little clip will be on Pinterest. But I want to have you back, Dr. Yembe, because I felt like I didn't get to ask you all my questions. And I want us to be able to help people in its entirety, even though you did help a lot. I would love to have you back so that we can have another live and like dive into the reading your labels, even, if we can even talk about in depth about reading our labels. And so I appreciate you. And if you left questions, I apologize. I have to honor her time. Dr. Yembe told me she can only be here for half an hour. And so I will honor that time, but we will definitely have her back. Thank you so much. I truly appreciate it. You were speaking my language loud and clear. So
Thank you.
I truly, truly appreciate you and what you do on social media and helping women our age. And like I said, it's wonderful to meet a fellow, enthusiast that is also passionate about helping women get healthy. So with that, I'm going to have to end, but leave your questions in the comments after I have posted this, and Dr. Yembe can come back and answer your questions as much as she can. We're not going to tie her up because she has her own channel and she has her own clients, and so and a lot of you are here.
Yes, actually, after this, I am going into my live boot camp because I do the workouts. I mean, I'm not a professional athlete, but I do the live workouts on my boot camp page. So that's exactly where I'm going now. But if you want to join my live boot camp, go to my link, go to my bio, hit it. The next one starts on January 31st. But I wanted to just leave everyone this message. Please do not get discouraged about your ability to get healthy and stay healthy. Everyone, I'm a Christian, so I'm going to throw this out there. Everyone has that God-given ability to reach their highest potential. So you want your health to be optimal so you can get to that potential that you were born to achieve. So you can do it. Do not let anything discourage you. Even if you get discouraged, listen, just shake yourself up, get up and do it, because I know you can do it.
Yes.
Yes.
Absolutely. Oh, thank you. And definitely want to have you back because
Thank you.
a lot. We need to talk a little bit more. So I appreciate you agreeing to come on this week and listen to her. If you want to go on to her boot camp, go to her link. I know a lot of you probably are following her already. If not, follow her. She is a powerhouse. I think she's up to like 86,000 followers now on Instagram. And you're on YouTube, Dr. Yembe, as Dr. Yembe is your YouTube channel.
Yes.
What is Dr. Yembe?
Dr. Enaka Yembe TV.
Enaka Yembe. Okay, at YouTube. So check her out on YouTube as well. And with that, we have to end so she can go, so I can honor her time. So thank you. Dr. Yembe, for coming, and we're gonna do this again. I promise.
Thank you. Awesome interview. Thank you.
Oh, my pleasure. My pleasure. Everybody have a wonderful rest of your evening and be looking for this because I will be posting it shortly. Thank you. Thank you so much.